Minimize conflict by minimizing contact. You say, well, sometimes you're just sitting right next to somebody in a classroom, but that person is very disruptive and all like that. All you do, you minimize conflict by don't even look over there. Just look straight ahead or look into a book, and then, you're minimizing contact as best you can. You can't leave the room. You're a prisoner there in the room, so the person is trying to start something with you and whatnot, just don't say anything, okay? Now, if the person hits you, then you just jump up and move, okay? You're still minimizing conflict by minimizing contact. If the person just pokes you on the shoulder, don't you hear me talking to you? Okay. Well, now the person is making physical contact, and they're probably getting ready to make more. So you just get up and move. Now, if the instructor, if you're in that type of setting, says, why are you moving? Say, well, I'm trying to avoid, you answer the question, I'm trying to avoid conflict, sir. I'm trying to avoid conflict, ma'am. And they say, well, what kind of conflict? Just conflict. You don't have to tell them no details, because if the person who is going to pursue you, now you have moved, you've gotten up out of your chair and moved 2 or 3 feet away, they got to get up out of their chair and follow you. Now, the average person is not going to do that much. If they do, then now they're inviting other people to get involved, all right? Just in other words, we have to discipline ourselves, all right? If you're sitting on the bus, you don't have to move. But if the person sitting next to you, just sits there and starts talking and whatnot and starts rambling on and whatnot, they might be on drugs or whatever. And just look at you and say, how come you ain't talking to me? You think you better than me? Because you got a job? Because you wearing that suit and tie? If you happen to be wearing a suit and tie, all right? Now the person, don't say anything except just get up like you're going to get off the bus. So you have a code for every situation, because you're in a volatile situation. You're on a battlefield 24/7. Be ready for anything that happens and have a code for it. And distance between the source of conflict is the first order of business for black people. Don't escalate the conflict. Don't start thinking, well, I got a right to sit here and not be bothered. So if he says one more thing to me, I'm going to take my fist and go upside his head. No. Don't escalate. De-escalate. Because you're going to encounter this all during your days. That's not the way you want to handle it. Because at some point, you'll get the losing end of that. You don't ever want to be a loser. You already lost enough on account of the system of white supremacy itself. That's lost enough. You're born in a prison called the system of white supremacy. Don't get into a prison riot, because that's not going nowhere. Don't participate in a prison riot. And when you're fighting other black people about anything, that's what that is. And then the white supremacists is going to come along and hit you both over the head. All right? Now you're both in trouble. Because you're doing what? Being disruptive, disturbing the peace. That's what they call it. You say, well, I was defending myself. Well, we'll sort all that out later on. Meanwhile, you lost your job and all like that behind something that you could avoid by doing what? No contact, no conflict. This is in the book. Those 4 words, no contact, no conflict, I have found from experience, because I've done it. I still do it. I avoid, get away from the source of conflict. Get away from it. Don't go toward it under no circumstance. And if somebody starts even raising their voice and all like that, even if you're talking to someone that a close associate, and they start getting angry and raising their voice and all like that, just simply say, well, look, Willie, I'll talk to you some other time, okay? I got to go now. I got to go. And then you go. Don't stand around.